Sitting right next to me is my dear friend Kellyanne Conway, former counselor to President Trump, Fox News contributor, the smartest political analyst I know. I don't make a move without her, ever. Nice to see you, love.
Thank
you. What do you think about that? All these prices are falling. I mean, it's an interesting thing. John Carney's a very smart guy. You know John.
Yes.
I'm not saying every price. There's thousands and thousands of prices in the economy. But, you know, he chronicled 71 price declines in January. A lot of groceries. And the year-to-year thing is so fascinating to me. Prices are coming down. Now, Trump's got great opportunity in the State of the Union to put all these numbers to work.
Yes.
You know, and I think using numbers is going to be an important part. He's very good at that, as you know. He's got to get the word out.
He does. And those facts and figures will compel him. Look, January and early February, Larry, is typically spent with Americans paying the bills from the holidays, and that's unpleasant. But I do think as we refocus, we'll see many of these household consumables, necessities, food, clothing, groceries are dipping in price. That's going to matter. I think the big ticket items like healthcare premiums and housing, that will still be nagging concerns. But the president and his team and Republicans up on Capitol Hill, like Bernie Moreno, tried with the health care premiums. The Democrats didn't want a deal. They want that to be an issue. I think they want them higher. Maybe they want some Americans to feel pain. They're the ones who foisted government-run health care on us to begin with. I feel it's just regrettable that so many elected Democrats are going to skip the President's State of the Union when he's showing up at their house. That's their house. That's our house. They're so petty, peevish, and political. Well, I think Hakeem Jeffries, the leader of the Democrats, knows. He said, I either want you to skip it altogether or sit there in, quote, silent defiance, because he knows you'll have more Al Greens this year than last year when Al Green threw up his walking cane. And the security there had to remove him because we needed order, according to Speaker Johnson. These Democrats only know one phrase, be against Trump. But if you're against Trump at this point, and you're against the One Big Beautiful Bill, and you're against energy dominance, and you're against trying to help people younger than 40 buy houses, and you're against dereg, you're against all these great things. I mean, they voted against 100% expensing for factories and facilities, doubling the child tax credit, all the stuff we know about overtime, Social Security, and tips. But even beyond that, the corporations have shown in the past, Larry, when we were there in 2017-18, they showed that when you give them that 21% tax rate, they will invest that in the wages, in the benefits packages, in research and development, now in AI and technology.
Biggest winner was the wage earner. Yes, they're going to do that again.
So look, prices are coming down, Larry, but I agree with Secretary Bessent. We're going to have a boom this year that people aren't seeing and feeling yet because so many of those benefits have not yet kicked in.
So what about, aren't people going to agree with the Save America Act, with, you know, voter ID, photo voter ID, citizenship? Don't people want to keep the border closed? Don't people want the criminals to be deported back to wherever they came from? You know Trump's going to lay it on there. I mean, those are like 80-20 issues, aren't they?
I was just going to say,
really?
80-20 issues. When I started polling for Dick Wirthlin, God rest his soul, Reagan's pollster, $8 an hour 38 years ago. He was a great pollster. I felt like I learned at the knees of the master. He would say there were 80-20 issues. There are 80-20 issues right now, and the Democrats are on the 20 side. They're still talking about they're talking about men being in women's sports. They won't deny that. They're mad at some of these hospitals for stopping gender reassignment surgery for kids who are younger than 18. They are against showing an ID to vote. I went to pick up my daughter's iPhone that's under my name at the store. They needed like 2 forms. I mean, it's ridiculous. And so people know that that doesn't fit with the way we live our regular lives. The Democrats are on the wrong side of so many of these issues. And look, I think the Democrats would do well, some of them, to try to play ball and find a few things they can vote on. But remember, they sat on their hands for Lake and Riley. They sat on their hands for a kid with cancer. Her name was Grace when we were in the White House. I remember her. Pediatric cancer. They just sit there and stare at the president. But he's got a lot of benefits to tout. I like what you and Newt are saying. This is a choice election. The Democrats think every day, everything is a referendum on Donald Trump. It's a choice. You want to go backwards to what we had, 8% mortgage rates, stagflation. And people who say President Trump is on a revenge tour, you know what the revenge is against? Stagflation, inflation outpacing wage growth.
20% increase in prices, right?
And the interest rates,
falling
all of it.
Real wages.
We want to get back to that 2019 Trump economy pre-COVID, when you and President Trump and very few others helped this country have the highest wages for a household, a rising tide lifted most, if not all, boats.
Yeah.
We had low interest rates. We had high economic optimism. We're going to get back there.
30 seconds. Marco Rubio's speech in Munich was fabulous.
Incredible.
Really fabulous.
Yeah.
I mean, you can watch it or read it. It's a fabulous speech.
I did both. Everybody should. It's a great lesson.
It establishes him as a major league leader, okay? I mean, I'm asking a political question. He's a world leader. He's a leader here at home. He's working in conjunction with the president. What does it mean? What do you think it means?
He's also very funny, and he's got great street smarts, and he's worked at this for a long time. He told me a few years ago that, you know, when he ran for president in 2015, 16 against Mr. Trump and others, that when he first got on the scene in 2010 or so, people just were throwing things at him. Be our keynote speaker. Here's the money. Be president. And you have to be ready over time. I love our bench. I think our bench is filled with tremendous talent. We have the vice president. We have Secretary Rubio. We have all these great governors. I don't worry about that. I think the reason the Democrats are having the 2028 conversation, and we really shouldn't, is because they're trying to get past Trump. And our party should not be trying to get past Trump. They should be enjoying the next 3 years of Trump's leadership.
You may be right, and you're the political expert, but I'd tell you, I have heard President Trump say, going back to the 2015, 2016 run, that Marco Rubio was his toughest competition, especially during the debates.
Especially during the debates. And I think he's only gotten better. But the way he acquitted himself on the world stage on behalf of our nation to a lot of hostile Europeans and business leaders and whatnot. I mean, I went to the Munich Security Conference last year. I went to Davos this year. There's a lot of pursed lips and
they gave him
eyebrows.
A standing ovation.
They did. And by the way, he doesn't relent at all about America first. What he does is say that we have got a great history and relationship with Europe and the Western Hemisphere. We want that to continue.
Shape up. Shape
but,
up.
You know, if you don't want to be a museum,
follow our
shape
lead.
up and follow our lead on migration, follow our lead on energy. When you look at the graphs of what some of these countries, they ignored, even President Trump, what he said during the Paris Climate Accord withdrawal, what he said during about migration his first term. They didn't listen.
I got to get out.
And now you see that.
But they should listen.
I think there's equal parts of collaboration and confrontation that is necessary, and I think Marco Rubio took both to them.
Kellyanne Conway.
Very proud.
The best of the best. Thank you for
Thanks,
coming
Larry
in.
Kudlow.
Take